Hello, Shlomola. It's me, Mystic Reverend Travis Tidwell, Sr. I'm here right now posting my predictions for 2021, not only with the presidency and Trump, but with some other matters here. We're now entering a 5 cycle on planet Earth. We were in a 4 cycle last year, and I predicted last year there'd be a lot of earth changes, earthquakes, volcanoes, things like that, possibly. Some of that stuff popped off, but I never really saw the pandemic, honestly. Um, I heard Sylvia Brown did a good job of predicting that to a degree. She said it would come as quickly as leave it as quickly as it came, excuse me, but that didn't happen. And I respect anybody in the business of being spiritual and making predictions. It's a tough living. I'm in the 90s for accuracy. They say I'm 99% accurate, but even that 1%, man, can be devastating. You know, um, the only thing 100%, the only thing 100% is Yahweh. And I just want to say that this message right now and this video is being produced and brought to you by the Lord God Yahweh and Sacred Dragon. And I am one sacred dragon here on this planet. And not only am I a mystic, which means that I'm doing psychic readings, tarot. I do runic magic. I do ceremonial magic. I do so many different things. Cleanse and bless homes. I'm a healer, Reiki master, psychic surgery. I pretty much do it all. Every life I've lived before this life, I've prepared for this life now because I'm part of the spiritual revolution for sure. And I'm here awakening people, preparing us for the fifth dimension. We just now entered the Aquarian age. This is like, the 3rd of July, right? No, excuse me, 3rd of January, 2021, excuse me. Yes. Let me get back here, get grounded. But yeah, I'm here to make predictions. So going back to this being a 5 cycle for planet Earth and really America, this is a time for us to feel more ambitious. Last year was about dictatorship. It was about death and rebirth and control. And, this administration, we're going to talk about politics, has, dropped the ball on some level and made our 4 cycle really tough. The fact is that they killed an Iranian uh, official at the beginning of last year, which is funny. The emperor and the death card represent the number 4. And the death card represents the death of a political figure, And sure enough, Trump activated that. So, it's all about karma. So your 5 cycle on this right now on this planet and in America and individually will depend on your own karma. Now, this is a time to rebuild America, really. Make America great again never made any sense. That was something another president used back in the 30s, I heard, or 40s for a phrase. And America was good already. So it's just now build back better, as I believe in the new president says to a degree, because we do need to build back better. We need to get back on top of our game here. So 5 cycle also says we're going to have the angel Michael working here on this planet a little bit better. There should be some revolutionary medical achievements this year. We're going to find that health again is a big concern, continuing to be a big concern. We'll probably have at some point still people, countries that will work well with us and some that won't. Obviously, I haven't done the China thing yet, but I am showing that we could be feeling pretty much shipwrecked with Iran. And it wouldn't surprise me now. I'm predicting that President Trump might try to go to war with Iran before he leaves office because he wants to create as much chaos as he can. Hey, it's all about me. And really it's about us as human beings. And it's time for us to have a diverse Congress and presidential people in office and administration because we should be living like Star Wars cosmically. Multicultural. It's the first time we have a Native American running the interior of the United States, which I think is phenomenal. And I feel that's also going to make that 5 cycle very positive for us. Every number has a positive, negative. The positive side for us this year in America is that we're feeling more ambitious. Unfortunately, the Republican Party hasn't seen it yet, but it's the minority, and Trumpism is the minority. And now that party is divided and split off into 2, they're both minorities. So the popular vote says that, hey, we want people in office who are conscious, who are cosmically thinking about us being human beings and thinking about the higher vibration of life and moving into, solar energy and the green things that are going to save this planet. because most corporations now and big companies are, what are they doing? They're planning on building stuff on the moon. They're going to Mars, which is the most uninhabitable planet in our galaxy. One of them, anyway. I'm sure not the most, but at least one of them for sure. We're moving out. We're moving out of the Goldilocks zone in this planet Earth right now. If you haven't studied that, Google it. And so we're going to see that the weather's changing more drastically again. I've been predicting that it's just a matter of time. We're going to have hurricanes here on the West Coast, which is where I'm living right now. Always representing that West Coast magic, being the sacred dragon here, and helping people to, metaphysics, because I'm a metaphysician, master teacher. But going back to the predictions of 5, also, there's that point sometimes of feeling shipwrecked with people that you've been successful with before. Now, this could be in government, maybe where Biden has been successful with people before in Senate. He's not going to be this time around. I also feel any senator, public official who backed Trump's claims of fraud in the election and are fighting it now should lose their position because they've already broken their oath to the Constitution. It's hard for me to think at my age. I've lived my whole life thinking that this country is just an experiment, and we've had somebody who's pushed the boundaries here legally on what's happening, and it's not good to do that. There's repercussions because we have the word karma. So we'll see how that information goes as far as being a 5-year. There should be higher evolution with the consciousness about communicating with angels, other beings, life forms. That's what we're talking about when we do Merkabah every second Wednesday night in my organization. We're trying to communicate with other beings, enter the 5th dimension, bypass death and resurrection, and live forever, which is a true system in the Hebrew culture. So I study and teach the mysticism of Kabbalah. So hey, it's all good in my neighborhood as far as the matrix and that information, because we haven't. We're living it right now. For those of you who know me, man, I'm growing my hair long because of the pandemic. I really haven't got my hair cut. And I'm always used to having much longer hair than this, but I've been donating it to the cancer kids, and I will again. And I usually have my beard colored. I like doing the man makeover just like women do. What's the problem? But I haven't been out of the house. I haven't been doing too much, staying away. So, but back to the predictions here. It's going to be a very interesting year anyway. Now, I did some numerology also on Donald Trump. And he's a 4th time here on Earth, which is a dictator vibration. This guy's a control freak. He's OCD. He's very much mentally independent is what he is. He's mentally independent, so he don't listen to anybody but himself. I'm that way. I can understand that, but I'm not a psychopath or a narcissist or, anything of that nature. I'm a spiritual being who loves Yahweh and the Holy and Divine Spirit and humanity and dignity and honor. And I love women, but I would never disgrace them and talk about them in such a negative manner. I mean, all guys talk about, hey, that girl looks good. Yeah, I'd like to tap that. We've all heard that expression, things of that nature. But still, you got to have respect for women in the Holy and Divine Spirit. They're kind of the same vibration. Moving right along. Yeah, so that, I'm not going to talk about his angel and get into his real personality because I really don't care for the guy. I used to respect him as a business person. I always thought he'd be a good president, hearing from how he used to talk. But, here's somebody who says you're the one breaking the law, then it's him breaking the law. You know what I'm saying? It's really kind of a backward situation. And it's unfortunate we have a bunch of people in the South who want to keep the South as far as the mentality. And I feel for Black Lives Matter and that whole movement. I mean, we wouldn't know what it would be like if our ancestors had been whipped and tarred or hung for no reason. I mean, we wouldn't know what that feels like in our family tree. Come on. So these people have a right for their own justice, just like the Native Americans and anybody else in this country who's going to step up and ask, for their own karmic rewards, so to speak, and create a different environment, which is what the whole 5 cycle is about, creating a different environment, feeling more adaptable, more cooperative. That'll be the government in the 5 cycle coming up here, I'm predicting. I already made another prediction on another video about the vaccine. I said we'll have about 5 of them before it's over, and I'm standing by that today. I'll probably get mine with maybe the 3rd or 4th one once this stuff's been around the block a few times. You know what I'm saying? But going back to Donald Trump Sr., the current president, yeah, he's in a 7 cycle now, which means he's very restless within the soul for change. Only in darkness can light shine, Don. And that's what's happening for him now. But some people can bounce back from that, and some people can't. And I kind of feel he's on such a negative level, he probably won't, as people think he will. We didn't even know who this guy was really. We saw his TV show, big deal, but he's really an idiot. And he has no compassion for Americans, none. And neither does Republican Congress. To shoot down a $2,000 check. I don't care who you are. They ain't coming out of your pocket. And all this money they give us isn't our money. It's not anything special they're giving us because it goes right back into the economy. So they're really, what are they doing for us at some point? Not much. So I'm very disappointed. Yeah, I would have said, hey, lock down the whole country, every business, but pay everybody some big money as you paid yourselves and these big corporations. What's a few $1 trillion for Americans? Come on, man, live it up. Get him, don't cheat yourself, treat yourself. And that's where I kind of feel about that. Minimum wage $15 now. That should be definitely minimum. Should be more than that actually. But anyway, going back to Donald Trump Sr., he's in the seventh cycle. You look at that, and a lot of times, not only is it restlessness and soul for change, it's a midlife career crisis, which I'm sure he's having. Even in his public debate against Biden, he said that he wasn't a politician. No, you are, Don. You took the job as president. You became a politician. You didn't take the job as president of Firestone Tires, which still kept you a businessman. You're the president of the United States. You're supposed to be a diplomat, dummy. So it's terrible when you think about our relationship with other countries right now also. So his seventh cycle was negative, and usually when your cycles start to go negative, they continue. Some people can have the power to change their destiny and do that, and some people just can't, and he won't be able to do that because he's got a good facade going. You find out he's charged all these Secret Service agents at Mar-a-Lago, wherever he goes. He's doing his own businesses. They're all making money off us. He's making money on us triple time, hand and fist, taxpayers' money. Now that's going to be gone for him. That's why he's trying to fight it now. But his 8th cycle comes up here this year on his birthday. He's a Gemini. It's one of my favorite signs, but he's just not that person for me. And most Gemini men cheat on their wives. Not all, but most of them do. I do live by the 10 Commandments and promote the 10 Commandments with my organization and people I'm close with, or they're not in my vibration. We all need to have a foundation. Any man or woman who don't have a religion or a foundation is truly a fool. And then once you do get a belief system, you need to double check that out. Make sure you check yourself so you don't wreck yourself on that level, on a personality, or you're at a spiritual standing. I like to use diverse terminology to express. That's part of my personality. I grew up on the streets, kind of poor. I know a lot of different people, and I'm proud of that. So going back to Donald Trump's 8th cycle is going to be disappointing for him this year. Oh my God. And from there, when he gets into his 9th cycle, which will be into 2022, he hits his 9th cycle. In 2023, it's going to be terrible for him. Absolutely terrible. He will get convicted in this Michael Cohen case in New York for the mishandling of campaign funds or whatever it is. He will get convicted for that eventually. It took him 10 years to get Harvey Weinstein. Did he rape these girls? Yes. Even he intimidated them. He offered them the carrot, but took advantage of people. I'm sure there could have been some girls who did it anyway. There is such a thing called ethics. There's such a thing called morals. And Donald Trump has some really bad karma. And we're all going to witness this coming up here. Now, he won't get a TV show, I feel. He might try to get The Apprentice back or try to reinvent something coming up here. But he will never be president again. He will not run again. I predicted back in 2016 he'd only be a one-term president. I was right about that. And I showed that he'd be very much emotionally imbalanced and act like he's okay when he's not, when he is. He doesn't really maybe care so much about the responsibility of president, but he likes the power. And we already know he likes to dictate. And he's been a very good student of Putin, make no mistake, and so are these Republican senators. Because how do you create a communist country? How do you become a dictator? By dividing the country, dividing the parties, and you kill one party, and then one party's in charge, and then you got what you want. We are having another civil war issue in this country, actually. It's kind of scary, but it's not, because now it's called terrorism. If you go against the American flag, you're a terrorist. And if you're going to run a Confederate flag against the American flag, you can't run them both together. They're not the same. Get it? They got it twisted. Even these white supremacists who are against Jews and Mexicans, all of us, they're against anybody. They need to go down and do a Me23 or Ancestry Tree DNA check and see what's in their blood system, because this is all getting to be pretty much out of hand. We should be living more cosmically, thinking more like star seeds than we are mundane human beings. So I did Melania Trump's date of birth here, and she's really a younger. Donald's a young soul of my philosophy, and his wife Melania is a young soul. She's a beautiful woman. Is she a gold digger? Make no mistake, because that's one of the ugliest men I've ever seen in my life. And I tell you what, he was really good friends with Jeffrey Epstein, and she hung out with them. So she went to the orgies with. I mean, trust me, I love women. I've been to strip clubs. I mean, I'm not trying to be a hypocrite here, but I'm not the president of the United States. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to be something I'm not. I am a spiritual being, I'm a spiritual teacher, master teacher. You can learn everything else, but I'm still also a man, but I'm single. I don't cheat on my wife. I live by the Ten Commandments, and he doesn't. But looking at her vibration, she's a young soul. She's very needy. Money is very important for her. She probably has some terrible dreams. Um, it's all about balance for her in this life and money, like I said. Believe it or not, she's also in a seventh cycle like her husband, which means that she would be wanting to do remodeling. They're both going to want to leave the country coming up here in this seventh cycle they're in now before long, maybe for some kind of a trip. But yeah, they're going to have the same disappointments together at the same time. She might be trying to branch off and do things as a second lady would be, or first lady would be, excuse me, but it's not going to manifest for her in that way. Ivanka Trump, she's older than her father and her stepmother on a soul level, but she's also too concerned about what daddy thinks, what other people think in her life than herself. And she'll always be that way. She's been very sheltered. It's almost like Paris Hilton never been to a Walmart or something. Like, first of all, hey, we go there all the time. It's like, whatever. Um, and I feel like Ivanka, excuse me, could also have some legal problems next year herself. I see some big disappointments coming for her this next 2 years. So the same thing for her dad. Look at Donald Trump Jr. He's just like his dad. He's a mini Don for sure. He is a mini. He's a four, just like his dad, which means they have the same ego trips. They're both control freaks. They both think they're authorities of what they do for a living. And maybe as a businessman, his company, he is. When you hear all the complaints of people who work for him and didn't work for him, who didn't get paid, and blah blah blah. Even recently, he asked for recounts, which cost a couple $1,000,000. Those states are still waiting for the money. Don, what's up? I'm saying it. This way, us as individual citizens, we can't get away with that. We could never get away with that. Come on, man. Not pay the IRS like that. Make that kind of money. Come on, man. When they get a hold of his taxes, they're going to see Russia everywhere. He's Putin's playhound, man. He tried to make this like Russia. He became friends with Russia. He wants to defend Russia, but it ain't happening, G. It ain't gonna happen. I'm a veteran, and we know all about the Cold War. I'm old enough to know the Vietnam War. Okay, so I'm a Vietnam era veteran myself. So, Donald Trump, he's missed his mark big time, and he's gonna pay for it. Don Jr., he's got the same problem. He's got the same attitude. He's in some way rebuilding his life now coming up here. This is going to be a rebuild time for him. So he won't be doing the same thing. And as far as him being involved in the Republican Party, I really don't see that. As far as he's going to be some big speaker or leader, I wouldn't see him winning anything in anything in the future. He doesn't have really that much of a background behind him. And also, too, I'm going to predict here that the Trump brand is going down. I see, people could be writing on him in the future, but I see his name being removed. He's going to lose his property at his golf club in Scotland within the next 24 months, I'm sure. Um, so that's some other information I ran across. He also will not be able to live at Mar-a-Lago like he wants to, because I really feel he wants to set up a presidential background for himself in Mar-a-Lago. He's in the South, have all of his Proud Boys down there. They could be his own Civil War army and act like he's still got a podium there, but he doesn't, and he won't. And these people who are following now will eventually fade away. Some will, some won't. The QAnon conspiracy, they're out there like Pluto. And they say, prove it to me. Well, no, you prove it to me. It's just some crazy ass shit. Just like saying these kids didn't die. The big shootings back east. It's like it's rude. It's rude. Um, there's a lot of conspiracy theorists out there, and I just stay as close to the truth as you can. And also don't get involved in a lot of the politics stuff. I mean, I get irritated. I'm a human being as well as a spiritual being. I have a lower self and a higher self. But thank God I process most of the stuff very quickly. So it's very frustrating when you're living in a world that you see that there's injustice and things that should be done and could be done that are not being done. Okay, and that's still happening. And even with this new president, it's still going to happen to a degree. But we need to really get on board, people, and think about this planet as a whole and us being a human race. Anyway, what else do I have to say about his popular, semi-popular? Really, him and the Republican Party, it's a stalemate because he caused division. That's what he's done within his own party. I mean, you got more Republicans who are independents now, Democrats than ever before. So look at the Lincoln Project itself. My God, you know what I'm saying? It's big, and it's truthful. Yeah, I mean, it's called what is it? The Freedom of Information Act. The Freedom of Information Act. I mean, this is real. This is not going away. We're going to get the truth. It's going to be transparent. There are aliens. You know what I mean? Come on. I mean, we're not even from Earth. If you haven't been to my podcast, Travis Tidwell, The Spiritual Life, please do. And I do have an album out on Spotify right now called Time Has Come, and check it out. Time has come for change. So he's going to get convicted in the Michael Cohen case with the fraud and the campaign and the porno star. And he's also going to have some government convictions coming up here with stuff he's done that he will be prosecuted for. And he will not change that law, Margot. I'm predicting he's also going to lose his club in Scotland. I think I said that already. I'm also predicting tonight on January 3rd, 2021, that we will have a terrorist attack from Iran between now and the next 45 days. It'll probably happen in the month of July still. I mean, excuse me, January. I keep saying July. Maybe that's going to be a big month, too, for terrorism. We'll see. But definitely we have terrorism right around the corner for us. That was created by the current administration. And they went and bombed in Iraq, I guess, and a lot of the soldiers got concussions and brain thing going on. And he said it was nothing, and I think that's bullshit too. And I'm not a Republican. I'm independent. I'm a patriot, man, and I could vote either way. It's the person, and ain't all the bullshit and the policy. So I couldn't be a Democrat 100% because I believe in carrying a gun. Okay, can't take that right. So we need a new party. We need a spiritual party. And we need one party for the people, by the people. Get rid of electoral vote, do the popular vote, and that's the way it's got to be. But this is part one. Part one. Let me write that down here. Part one of 2021 predictions. And I want to thank everybody who's tuning in to this video. It's my 007 videos. It's my 007 series. I have my podcast series, which are numbered. But then I have my 007 series, which is stuff I'm doing on the channel. I'm trying to get my message out there. I'm a professional psychic medium for a living. If you don't know who your assigned angel is and you don't have that kind of information going on in your life, man, you need to email me at onesacreddragon2@gmail.com. Like I said, you can check me out on Spotify. You can check me out with my podcast. I was hoping to make some predictions on the podcast, but it doesn't matter. I'll mention that I have predictions on my channel when I'm doing my next podcast. I also have a special person coming in, a high priestess who's in training right now with me. She's going to be podcasting with me, who has some spiritual experience. And I'm excited about that. My new website, travistidwell.us, I'll be launching next couple months here. The economy's been tight for everybody. I do classes now on Zoom every Wednesday night. So if you're interested in getting some spiritual teaching, I'm the man to come see. As soon as we all get vaccinated, we'll be back to work. We'll be doing healing work attunements. I'm also starting a nonprofit this year for Reiki and meditation. And so for those of you who are watching this this video, podcast, this video, and you want to become a participant in the spiritual revolution and, really get involved, and you want to become a healer and a psychic and a medium and all this, contact me. If you go to my podcast episodes 14, 15, 16, you can get your level 1 and 2 Reiki free. Okay? So, thank you for tuning in. I wish everybody peace and love out there, and many blessings from the Lord God Yahweh and the Holy Divine Spirit from Sacred Dragon.